Well, folks, the only thing that I can say for certain is that we're headed into uncertain times. We're going to be headed into a phase of American history that people are going to look back on and study for years to come. I have a feeling that the country we once knew is no longer here. I'm not trying to bring down the room, I'm just being real. I feel like that the country we once knew is no longer here and we're headed into some really uncertain times. And it may be a long time before we see a glimpse of what America was supposed to be or how we remembered it the way that it was supposed to be. On January 20th, when Donald Trump lays his hand on a Bible and swears to preserve and protect and defend a Constitution that he also said he would terminate anytime he seen fit, we will definitely be headed into some uncertain times. So, the way that we have played the game before and the rules that we have played by have really gone out the window because Donald Trump and MAGA, with the help of the Supreme Court, has threw a lot of the rules out the window. And so I don't know how we're going to be able to stick to our principles going forward that we play by the book and we play by the rules when they themselves have threw the entire handbook in the trash. You know, if you were in a boxing match and it was a controlled fight and you were there and you had a set of rules that everyone had agreed to fight by and you had a referee and you had three judges and you came to the center of the ring and the referee said touch gloves and come out fighting and you came out fighting and everything was fair, you could box by the rules of boxing and you could have a fair fight. And when the fight was over, the judges could look at it. If there wasn't a knockout scored, the judges could look at it and see who was ahead on points. But now just imagine if you came to the center of the ring, the judge said, touch gloves, come out fighting, and when the guy came out from the other side, he was wielding a switchblade. Well, now you're not in a boxing match anymore. You can't start establishing the jab because now you're in for a completely different kind of fight, and I really feel like that's where we are in American history right now. Now, Joe Biden has been issuing pardons. He pardoned his son Hunter. And I saw a whole lot of people on the left upset about that, saying that he shouldn't have done that because that's not who we are. We don't play by those kind of rules. Well, again, the rule book is out the window. So I know there's going to be a lot of people who's going to disagree with this next story. But what I'm asking you to keep in mind is we're living in a different world now. So also, before we read this article from MidasNews.com, I want to thank you guys so much for hitting that subscribe button. If you haven't already, please do so because we are closing in on 500,000 subscribers, and I definitely want to do that before Donald Trump takes the oath, and I truly believe that we can. So thank you so much for that. But let's go to this article now from MidasNews.com. Biden announces clemency for 1,500 Americans and pardons for 39 nonviolent offenders. And once again, this is by Troy Matthews from the Midas Touch Network. President Biden announced clemency for nearly 1,500 Americans and the pardoning of 39 individuals convicted of nonviolent crimes on Thursday. According to the White House, the clemencies are being granted to individuals who have served at least 1 year in home confinement due to provisions in the COVID-era CARES Act. Those individuals have taken steps to improve their lives, including seeking employment and educational opportunities. The 39 pardons include individuals who were convicted of nonviolent crimes, including drug offenses, and have also demonstrating a willingness to turn their lives around. This is the largest single-day sentence commutation in American history. Biden has issued more sentence commutations than any other president in history up to this point in his term. According to the White House, those affected include a decorated military veteran who spends much of his time helping his fellow church members who are in poor health or unable to perform strenuous tasks. A nurse who has led emergency response for several natural disasters who have helped spearhead vaccination efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic, and an addiction counselor who volunteers his time to help young people find their purpose, make better choices, and refrain from the destructive behaviors and gang involvement. America was built on the promise of possibility and the second chances. As president, this is Biden talking. As president, I have the great privilege of extending mercy to people who have demonstrated remorse and rehabilitation, restoring opportunity for Americans to participate in daily life and to contribute to their communities, and taking steps to remove sentencing disparities for nonviolent offenders, especially those convicted of drug offenses. I will take more steps in the weeks ahead. My administration will continue reviewing clemency petitions to advance equal justice under the law, promote public safety, support rehabilitation and reentry, and provide meaningful second chances. Now, again, I realize there are people out there who is going to disagree with this and say that Joe Biden shouldn't be pardoning all these people. But again, I say we're in a completely different world now. The other side has completely thrown the rules in the trash can, and they have made it loud and clear that they intend to go after people that went after Trump. And we can sit here all day long and make all of the arguments. We could point out that they went after Donald Trump for the things that he did and for the things that we saw and heard him do. And we can point all of those things out, and it ain't going to matter because they look at it and they have convinced their flock that it was all fake news and that it was all the weaponization of government. So when Donald Trump is back in power and you got people like Kash Patel in power who has went on Steve Bannon and said, yes, we intend to target journalists. Yes, we intend to target you people that have spoke against Trump. He has said it out loud. So Trump, on the other hand, when he's asked about it, would you allow this to happen? He said, yeah, those people, I don't know if that I would do it, but those people definitely deserve it. He said that Liz Cheney and everyone on the J6 committee, he said that all those people deserve to be in jail. He won't, when pressed to say it, he won't say whether or not he would order it done, but we've got Kash Patel saying that it should be done. So couldn't you see someone like a Donald Trump sitting back going, well, if that's what they want to do, I mean, yeah, they did it to me, so we got to do it to them. And we can sit here and we can say, well, the truth was on our side. The facts was on our side. We had the evidence. They don't have any of that. Well, that may all be good and well. But they threw the rule book out the window and they've made it clear that they're going to be coming after people and targeting people. And we're definitely headed into uncertain times. We're headed into the first time in American history where I remember a president going in with immunity for official acts. And to tell you the truth, none of us even really knows what that means. We keep getting told, oh, they won't let Trump do that. They won't let this happen. You don't have to worry about it. They would never let that happen in this country. But Donald Trump is surrounding himself by yes men who will do exactly what he wants. And people who have been saying for years that when they get in power, this is exactly what they intend to do. And they will do it on the premise of, well, they did it to us. It's only fair that we get to do it to them. And there will be people sit back and watch and not say a word while innocent people gets locked up. And yeah, we can sit here all day long and say, but they were innocent. They didn't commit a crime. You're right, they didn't. But we're in a different world, playing by a different set of rules. And so I support Biden pardoning Hunter. I support him issuing these pardons, and I support him pardoning Liz Cheney or any Adam Kinzinger or anyone else that Trump has said deserves to be locked up. Because we've said all along this is going to be, if he's reelected, this is going to be about revenge and retribution. And the people that want the revenge and retribution more so than Donald Trump is his supporters because they thrive on it. They love the idea of it. They love the sound of it. They always have. And that's one of the reasons why they showed up to his rallies and cheered him on like they were at a WWE event, because they loved what he was saying. Yeah, some people, I can hear some people now saying, well, he said he was going to lock up Hillary, but he never did it. He didn't have a cast of characters around him who would say, yeah, that's a good idea. This go around, the people who are around him will be all for doing that. So I support Joe Biden doing this. And I know there's going to be people say, but they were innocent. And there's also going to be people say, well, Brando, you said to Marjorie Taylor Greene, why are you asking for a pardon if you're innocent? And I would say, well, it's a completely different set of circumstances. We're in a completely different game now. And this is just the way things are. I know sometimes I may come off like a very matter-of-fact person, but I really believe that you have to deal with the hands you've been dealt in that moment, and you can't go back 10, 15 years ago to another place in time because you're not there anymore. All you can do is play with the cards you've been dealt. And if we had been dealt a more fair hand, then I would be singing a completely different tune. But we're in that boxing match. We thought we were in a controlled fight, and the people coming at us now have switchblades. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to box now like the Marcus of Queensberry. I'm not going to see if I can establish my jab with this maniac wielding a knife coming at me. So I understand this is a debate we'll be having for a long time, and some people look back and say it was a mistake. There's already some people now saying that it is a mistake, but I have to disagree. I think it's a necessity when you have a group of people as vengeful and as spiteful and as hateful as MAGA. You have to take the steps to protect innocent people within the new rules of the game that we're in now. But again, I thank you guys so much for supporting what it is that I do. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to check us out over on Patreon. I've been putting a lot of non-political content over there for those that wants to take a break and get away from the politics. We've been having a lot of fun with things over there. So if you haven't checked out the Patreon, be sure and do so. And yes, to answer your question, I am on Blue Sky, and I've got it tagged here in the video. So be sure to check me out over there. And let's just keep putting in the work. But let's understand that we are in a completely different fight going forward, and they threw the rule book out the window. So I don't see how we can play by the rules that in their world no longer exist.